politics every day, and when you watch all the television, you're inundated with it. So I thought we'd cut through all the politics and just get down to what's real. Okay, the Constitution of the United States has 10 amendments attached to them, and I think all 10 of them are important. Now, I like that First Amendment, the freedom of speech, because I like to exercise that every time I get a chance. But I'm serious about that Second Amendment. There was a reason that our forefathers plugged that in. And, some people in Washington, D.C. forget that the government is the people. The government is not the people that we put in place, but it's all of us. So I believe heartily in our Second Amendment rights. This county is one of the safest counties in the entire United States. Our crime rates are 49%. And while the state of Florida is a 50-year low with their crime, for which I'm very excited, our crime is half that of the state average. So you're exceptionally safe in this community. But there's always going to be a few people that violate the law, and there's always going to be a few people that are very dangerous. So that's why I encourage people that aren't afraid of guns to get a gun, become comfortable with a gun, learn how to operate it, and carry it in accordance with the law. So that in the event you are attacked and your life is threatened, or someone tries to come into your home, that you can shoot them a lot. I believe in that. And for those of you who may not be indigenous to the state of Florida, that means born here, okay? How many people are born in Florida? Okay, we got 2 of us.
One.
How many of you are from Polk County originally? Yeah, the same ones, right? This is really a fantastic state. The state law protects you when you protect yourself with the Second Amendment. But I always like to talk a little bit. We have a stand your ground law that's a very good law, and we have a castle doctrine. And other states have variations of that. But I always like to warn people, our stand your ground law, relatively speaking, hasn't been in place that long, a few years. People make a mistake though. We have people all the time that shoot people, and then they said, well, I was just standing my ground. Well, you don't just get to, well, you can say it, but it doesn't mean it's the law. So I tell folks, what that doctrine or that law really means is that you're standing where you have a right to be. You don't create the disturbance. You have a right to be here. And someone threatens you with great bodily harm or death, then you can protect yourself. What that law says is you don't have to retreat. Some states say you have to try to retreat. And if you can't, only then can you use deadly force to protect yourself. But what I share with people is over and over and over, we end up arresting people that think they are legitimately standing their ground. And I'll give you an example. A fella, not so long ago, and his girlfriend came out of an apartment. And the guy is charging up the stairs, and he says, hey, there's this guy that's out of control. He came up to me and got in my face, and I had to shut him down, and I'm running up to get into my apartment. So this guy and his girlfriend who are coming out of the apartment go downstairs, and he arms himself with his gun, which he's got in his car. Now that doesn't do you a lot of good when you're in your house, okay? I'm just saying. And then he goes looking for this guy. And the guy is really just messed up on drugs, just really messed up on drugs. And so he finds him, and I'll get to the gist of it. And the guy's trying to run past him, and he can't hardly stand up. Well, he says he's being threatened, and he shoots and kills the guy. Well, dude, you should have gone in your apartment. You should have gotten in your car and driven off. You should have dialed 911. But you don't have the right to put the gun in your pocket and go pursue him. That's a problem. There was also a case over in St. Petersburg where a guy parked in a handicapped parking, and he went in the shop leaving his wife there. And some guy come and stuck his nose in their business and got in the wife's face and said, "Y'all don't have a right to park here." And the lady tells him, "Get out of here." So he gets more animated and more animated and more animated. But in the meantime, the husband comes out and sees this guy standing in the window screaming at his wife. So he shoves him down and says, "Get out of my wife's face." The guy laying on his back pulls a gun and shoots him. That's not stand your ground. He should not have been there doing that in the first place. That man certainly had a right to shove him away from his wife. So why do I coach all that? Because every year we arrest one or two people that legitimately think they're standing their ground and they're not. So I tell everybody, it's important that you know the law. And it's not that detailed. You can Google it up, or as my 13-year-old says, search it up. We offer concealed carry classes for 40 or 45 bucks, something like that. It's a United Way fundraiser, and we'll teach that as part of that class. So if you don't have your concealed weapons permit, and you want to take that, our firearms instructors are our SWAT guys and our experts. So it's not like, we're not marketing it, because there's people in private enterprise that do some form of this. But we will make sure you understand the law so you can stay safe. And I tell folks, it sounds trite, but it's so true. The only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. And I really, really, really encourage those of you to have a firearm, because it's always better to have a gun in your hand than a cop on the phone. I mean, just saying, because like tonight, okay, you go home, you go to bed, and you're dreaming. Maybe you have trouble going to sleep, and you count sheep. When I have trouble going to sleep, I count prisoners going to bed. Just saying. But anyway, so you go to bed tonight, you go to sleep, and somebody is legitimately breaking into your home. No, I'm not talking about, your ex-girlfriend or your ex-wife who wants their clothes out of the closet. I'm talking about a legitimate burglary. You dial 911. That's the first thing you do. It's going to take us time to get there. If that dude comes in, you've got to look out and protect yourself until we can get there. That's why having a firearm, learning to use the firearm, and knowing the law is very important, and I encourage that. Okay, now I'm watching this because I understand you're eating at 6 o'clock, so I have 8 more minutes. Because I know what happens when you get in the way of the meal. So I like to talk about some things you ought not to do with a gun. Okay, that's important. So you got to put yourself in the moment. You decided you're going to call Hungry Howard's and get a pizza. And on this pizza, you want pepperoni and cheese. So you show up, and you wait, and the pizza's late. So you check it out, and it's got sausage. You don't like sausage. You want pepperoni. So you throw a fit, and you scream and holler, "You didn't get my pizza done. I've already paid for it with my credit card, and it's got the wrong stuff on it." And the girl says, "Chill out. We'll give you a pizza. We'll redo it. You look how much time you've messed up my pizza." So the manager comes out and said, "Hey, we'll give you a bottle of pop. Pick it out. I'll give you food, extra food. You can even have some garlic knots." So this lady, cradling her baby in her arm, pulls out a gun and points it at the staff and says, "I think I may just kill y'all. Did you hear what I said?" She threatened with a baby in her arm to kill them over a stupid pizza. And then they go, well, we're going to go inside and tell the sheriff. And they did, and she fled. Second mistake is she'd already paid for the pizza. So we went to her house and surrounded it. And her mother, who came by from not far away, we explained the deal to her. She said, well, she's not coming out. And if she doesn't come out, we're coming in. So Mama got her on the phone and said, you need to get out of here. These guys are serious, and we took her to jail. So let's have a review. She didn't get her pepperoni pizza. She did not get her sausage pizza. She didn't get a free pop. She didn't get her garlic knots. But she got arrested for aggravated assault and taken to the jail. And she was also charged under the child abuse statute because she was holding the kid during all of this. So now she's sitting in bookend at the jail going, I sure wish I had some pizza. We don't serve pizza at the county jail. You know, we'll get her a sandwich. But we don't feed peanut butter and jelly either because it's expensive. Do you know what we give in place of peanut butter and jelly? We provide meat sandwiches. A lot of protein, meets all the standards. Do you know what kind of meat we feed them? No, bologna is expensive. Spam is even more expensive than bologna. I call it mystery meat. I cannot recognize it, but I know that it's USDA inspected. So how did that work for her? Oh, well, we charged her with carrying a concealed firearm as well. So at the end of the day, that's the kind of folks that we deal with. And when you're dealing with someone like that, then good things aren't going to happen. Because the person that's breaking into your house that doesn't know you, is a real stranger that has a baseball bat, a pool cue, a gun, a knife, they're not going to listen to reason. If you point a gun at them, that is not going to work either, because these people are wild, out of control, probably on drugs. They're breaking in, and the law says there's a presumption that they're going to hurt you. When they're breaking into your home, you don't know who they are. You don't have to wait and take the chance of being injured. At that point in time, you should be frightened to death, and you should shoot them as they come into that door a lot. Okay? Okay. Do we have time for one more story? Sure. I got 3 minutes. All right, so here's the deal. We received a call for someone showing up at the hospital with a gunshot wound. When we got there, we had to press the man and his girlfriend for the true story, but we got it eventually. It may come as a shock to you, but people lie to us. Not only do the suspects lie to us, the victims lie to us too. It is very difficult some days. Anyway, we got the story, and apparently this man is a bit of a hothead. That's Polk County for he's got anger management issues. And he was upset with his girlfriend of accusing him of cheating. So he started waving his 9mm around and threatening to kill her. The girlfriend was able to get away, and she grabbed her purse. When she came back through the house, she noticed that he had set the gun down on the kitchen table. So she picked it up and attempted to leave the residence. He was having a real fit. He was throwing stuff all around the house. He saw her leave through the garage door. and he chased after her with a large metal skillet, telling her, I'm going to hurt you. He chased her with a skillet, and he had it over his head so he could crush it down onto her body. Except this lady turned around and shot him with his own gun. And you know what? That's justified. She had the gun. She's leaving. He chases her down with the skillet. It's not just stand your ground. He is committing an aggravated assault and attempted an aggravated battery, and she shot him. So what's the moral of the story? First and foremost, leave the ladies alone. You're never going to win that argument. One. Two, if you engage in an argument with your girlfriend or your wife or your significant other, don't point a gun at her. Three, if you opt to do that, which is a violation of the law, don't lay it down so she can pick you up. You should just, at that point in time, take the gun and run away. But that's what we deal with every day. And that's why, after I've done this my entire adult life, I still wake up most mornings before the alarm goes off to come to work, because it's really exciting. And if you didn't see my press conference today, we arrested 102 people from everything from, it was a human trafficking operation. We found 3 victims that we turned over to service. We also arrested 2 child sex predators who thought they were coming there for sex with a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old girl. Yeah. One of them even said, no, I'm sorry, one of them came. The other one sent pictures of his privates. Oh. You know what I mean? He did. And he said nasty things to him. And then he said, I got this Pokemon or Chewit something. I got one of them. And he said, we're going to cuddle with it in the back seat of the car where we engage in sex. He looked for those girls. So if we only got rescued the 3 victims and arrested the 2 sexual predators, it's a grand slam, right? But in addition to that, we arrested a lot of folks for committing bad stuff, and we put them in jail. And you know what? I got to tell you one more story. You have time? You're just not going to believe this. So one of the guys we arrested him in 2019 in another sting, right? He was fined $6,400. Just saying that's a little expensive, you know what I'm saying? $6,400. He was on the payment plan because he didn't have $6,400 cash. He had gotten that down to $1,300 when, by his own admission this time, he got mad with his wife. So he was going to get even with her so he wouldn't have sex with this lady. The same undercover that caught him in 2019. The same one. And then he confessed again. He said, well, I was just doing this because I was mad at my wife. Well, I told him on television today, let me give his wife some free advice. You're married to a loser. I would highly suggest you rethink that. But I'm glad crime's down, but the reason we can do this job the way we do it is because of you, the community. You're the strength, you're the energy, you are the government, and we listen to you. And I thank God every day that I'm able to serve you as your sheriff, and I thank you for your support of us. I promise we'll keep doing what's right. Support us, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Take care, and God bless you.